Greetings and good day to one and to all. Welcome back as we continue our reading for Sunday, May 8th, 2022. Day 128 as we journey to 365. We're completing the book called The Song of Solomon or The Song of Songs by reading chapter 8 in this second part of a two-part episode. And we will conclude our reading today with reading Proverbs, the 19th chapter. We thank God for his word and pray that he continue to be with us as we journey through his word and through every day of our lives. God bless you. Chapter 8 in the Song of Solomon. And we'll pick it up at verse 1 to verse 14, and then we'll jump back to Proverbs, the 19th chapter. Let's read the Bible. And verse 1, chapter 8. Oh, this is the Shulamite still speaking. Oh, that you were like my brother, who nursed at my mother's breasts. If I should find you outside, I would kiss you. I would not be despised. I would lead you and bring you into the house of my mother, she who used to instruct me. I would cause you to drink of spiced wine, of the juice of my pomegranate. To the daughters of Jerusalem, she's speaking, I believe, verse 3. His left hand is under my head, and his right hand embraces me. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, do not stir up nor awaken love until it pleases. A relative is speaking here, verse 5, speaking about love renewed in Lebanon. 1 second. Verse 5. Who is this coming up from the wilderness, leaning upon her beloved? I awakened you under the apple tree. There your mother brought you forth. There she who bore you brought you forth. The Shulamite to her beloved, verse 6. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm, for love is as strong as death, jealousy as cruel as the grave. Its flames are flames of fire, a most vehement flame. Many waters cannot quench love, nor can the floods drown it. If a man would give for love all the wealth of his house, it would be utterly despised. The Shulamite's brothers, verse 8. We have a little sister, and she has no breasts. What shall we do for our sister in the day when she is spoken for? If she is a wall, we will build upon her a battlement of silver, and if she is a door, we will enclose her with boards of cedar. The Shulamite, verse 10. I am a wall, and my breasts like towers. Then I became in his eyes as one who found peace. Solomon, verse 11, had a vineyard at Baal Hamon. He leased the vineyard to keepers. Everyone was to bring forth its fruit 1,000 silver coins. Shulamite to Solomon, verse 12. My own vineyard is before me. You, O Solomon, may have found 1,000, and those who tend its fruit 200. The beloved. Verse 13, you who dwell in the gardens, the companions, listen for your voice. Let me hear it. The Shulamite, last verse 14. Make haste, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or a young stag on the mountains of spices. Word of God, we're going to read those last two verses again. The beloved and the Shulamite, verses 13 and 14. You who dwell in the gardens, the companions, listen for your voice. Let me hear it. Make haste, my beloved, and be like a gazelle or a young stag on the mountains of spices. That's the word of God. That is the conclusion of the book called the Song of Solomon, or the Song of Songs. So we now jump back to Proverbs, and I said chapter 18 in the book of Proverbs, chapter 19 in the book of Proverbs, chapter 19 in the book of Proverbs. And this will conclude our reading for this day. And this is the New King James Version. And the word reads, verse 1. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one who is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Also, it is not good for a soul to be without knowledge, and he sins who hastens with his feet. That was verse 2. Also, it is not good for a soul to be without knowledge, and he sins who hastens with his feet. The foolishness of a man twists his way, and his heart frets against the Lord. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his friend. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies will not escape. Wow. Many entreat the favor of the nobility, and every man is a friend to one who gives gifts. All the brothers of the poor hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? That was verse 7. All the brothers of the poor hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He may pursue them without words, yet they abandon him. He who gets wisdom loves his own soul. He who keeps understanding will find good. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies shall perish. Luxury is not fitting for a fool, much less for a servant to rule over princes. The discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory is to overlook a transgression. The king's wrath is like the roaring of a lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass. A foolish son is the ruin of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dripping. Watch out. Verse 14. Houses and riches are an inheritance from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. What you say? Houses and riches are an inheritance from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. Laziness casts one into a deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. That's verse 15. Laziness casts one into a deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. Verse 16. He who keeps the commandment keeps his soul, but he who is careless of his ways will die. He who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay back what he has given. Chasten your son while there is hope, and do not set your heart on his destruction. Wow. Verse 19. A man of great wrath will suffer punishment, for if you rescue him, you will have to do it again. what you say. Listen to counsel and receive instruction, that you may be wise in your latter days. Verse 21, there are many plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord's counsel, that will stand. Let's read that one again, verse 21. There are many plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord's counsel, that will stand. What is desired in a man is kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of the Lord leads to life, and he who has it will abide in satisfaction. He will not be visited with evil. A lazy man buries his hand in the bowl and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. Wow. Strike a scoffer. This is verse 25. I'm just going to leave that there if I preach that. It just strike a scoffer. Pow! And the simple will become wary. Rebuke one who has understanding, and he will discern knowledge. He who mistreats his father and chases away his mother is a son who causes shame and brings reproach. That's verse 26. He who mistreats his father and chases away his mother is a son who causes shame and brings reproach. Cease listening to instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. Verses 28 and 29, last two verses. A disreputable witness scorns justice, and the mouth of the wicked devours iniquity. Wow. Judgments are prepared for scoffers, and the beatings for the backs of fools. My. That was the last verse, verse 29. Judgments are prepared for scoffers, and beatings for the backs of fools. The word of God for the people of God. We thank God for his word and pray that he continues to bless each and every person that reads his word, hears his word, seeks his word, does his word. And we ask that you stay in the scriptures, my friends, for we know that the scriptures are given by inspiration of God. And we know that man shall not live by bread alone, but he shall live by every word that proceed out of the mouth of God. God bless you.